A few years ago, it was easy to tell where tech was going. Every major shift came with a clear signal. Smartphones took over, then wearables followed, then smart home devices started appearing everywhere. Each wave had a flagship product, a clear use case, and a moment when it all clicked. But right now, something very different is happening. Big tech is pouring billions into a new gadget category, and almost no one can clearly define it yet. There's no single device leading the charge, no obvious winner, no moment where everyone suddenly agrees this is the future. Because this time, the shift isn't about a product. It's about a new way of interacting with technology. And the devices being built right now are just early pieces of that puzzle. If you look closely, the pattern starts to appear. Across different companies, different products, and different strategies, there's one common direction. Technology is moving closer to you while becoming less visible at the same time. That's the new category. Not just gadgets, but ambient, AI-powered companions. Devices that don't demand your attention, but are always ready when you need them. Think about how we use technology today. You pull out your phone, open an app, scroll, tap, navigate. Everything is built around screens and steps. There's a clear boundary between you and the digital world. You go to it, but what if that boundary disappears? What if you didn't have to open anything? What if the system already understood what you wanted and handled it for you? That's what this new category is trying to achieve. And you can already see early versions of it, just not fully formed yet. Smart glasses are one example. Not the bulky experimental versions from years ago, but lighter, more practical designs being developed right now. They're not trying to replace your phone immediately. They're trying to reduce how often you need it. Instead of checking your phone for directions, information appears in your field of view. Instead of pulling out your device for notifications, they're delivered subtly, without breaking your focus. It's not a dramatic change, but it's a shift in behavior. Then there are AI wearables, small, screenless devices designed to stay with you all the time. They listen, respond, and assist without requiring you to look at anything. You don't open them, you interact with them naturally, and that's the point. They remove the friction between thinking and doing. There's also a growing push toward voice-first and context-aware systems. But this time it's not just simple commands, it's continuous interaction. The system remembers what you asked before, understands your preferences, adapts over time. It starts to feel less like a tool and more like a layer that's always there. And when you combine all of this with AI, everything changes. Because AI is what makes these devices useful. Without it, they're just alternative hardware. With it, they become intelligent systems. They can make decisions, handle tasks, filter information, and operate with minimal input. That's what makes this shift different from previous ones. Smartphones gave you access to apps. These devices aim to remove the need for apps entirely. You don't choose the tool, you just express intent, and the system figures out how to execute it. Now here's where things get interesting. This isn't just about convenience, it's about control. Right now, apps control the experience. You choose which one to open. Each company owns its interface, its ecosystem, its user journey. But in a world where AI assistants handle tasks for you, that control shifts. The assistant becomes the gatekeeper. It decides which service to use, which option is best, which company gets your request. And that changes the entire competitive landscape. Because companies are no longer just competing for users. They're competing to be chosen by the system. And that's a much harder battle. It's less visible, but far more important. That's why big tech is moving carefully. They're not rushing to release one perfect device. They're experimenting, testing different form factors, trying to understand how people will actually use this technology, because they've learned something from the past. Getting the timing wrong can kill a category. Too early and people don't adopt it. Too late and someone else defines it. So instead, they're building quietly, refining the experience, waiting for the moment when everything aligns, the technology, the use case, and user behavior. There are still challenges. Battery life is a big one. These devices need to be always on, always ready, but still last all day. That's not easy. There's also the question of privacy. Devices that are always listening, always aware, raise concerns. And companies know that trust will be a major factor in adoption. Then there's the biggest challenge of all, habit. People are used to screens, used to apps, used to interacting in a certain way. Changing that behavior takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. That's why this shift feels slow, because it is, but it's also inevitable, because the current model has limits. Too many apps, too much friction, too much attention required. And as technology improves, the expectation changes. People don't just want better tools. They want fewer steps, faster outcomes, less effort. And that's exactly what this new category promises. A world where technology fades into the background, where devices don't demand your attention, but quietly support what you're doing, where the interface isn't something you look at, it's something you experience. And once that becomes normal, everything else starts to feel outdated. But here's the key point. This isn't about replacing your phone tomorrow. It's about slowly reducing its role. First, you check it less often, then you rely on it less for certain tasks, and eventually it becomes just one part of a larger system. That's how platform shifts happen. Not all at once, but gradually, until one day the old way feels unnecessary and the new way feels obvious. So when you look at what big tech is doing right now, it might not seem like there's a clear direction. Different devices, different ideas, different approaches. But underneath all of that, there's a single trend. Technology is becoming more invisible, more integrated, more intelligent. And the devices being built today are designed for that future, not to impress you immediately, but to change how you interact over time. Because the next big gadget category isn't about a single breakthrough product. It's about a shift in behavior, a shift from tools you use to systems that work for you. And when that shift fully arrives, it won't feel like a new device. It will feel like technology finally got out of your way.